Welcome, everyone, to That Kind of Nerds podcast, a weekly show that tells you what is going on in the nerdy world. I am CJ Millen, joined, as always, by Josh Burns and Brian Thornton.
What up?
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I supposed to say hi?
I don't know. Just, it's already off the rails.
Konnichiwa. Domo arigato, Nintendo.
That's not hello, is it?
Yeah, it is. Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Listen, there has been a lot of news coming out of the world of movies and TV, so I thought we'd just dive headfirst into it in a segment that we call Screen to Screen. I'm starting with a trailer that was a little divisive amongst the three of us. It's called The Hotel Artemis. Brian, you actually found this trailer. How did you come across it? And explain the basic premise to me.
I came across it via the interweb.
Right.
I was trolling the internet for things to talk about on this show, and that's how I found this trailer.
Walked into that myself. All right.
Yeah, you did.
All right.
As far as for what I can gather from the trailer, the Hotel Artemis is a hospital specifically set aside for criminals. It's like the night nurse, but for evil people. And it looks like Sterling K. Brown plays the lead. You may know him from Black Panther and This Is Us. He steals something in a bank robbery that he was not supposed to steal, and now Jeff Goldblum, who is Jeff Goldblum, is coming to retrieve it, breaking all the rules of the hospital, stuff like no killing, no fighting. You know, it's like the Continental in John Wick, just a hospital. And it's run by Jodie Foster, apparently.
Yeah, the big premise, though, is that this hospital has rules, and the rules will be followed, and if you don't follow the rules...
Like the Continental.
There's consequences. Yeah, well, some people haven't seen John Wick.
Well, if you haven't seen John Wick, then what the hell are you doing with your life?
It's not a hospital, CJ. It's a hotel.
Right, but it's got rules, and people haven't seen John Wick.
I know, but it's not it's not a hospital.
Oh,
I referred to it as a hospital because that's what I got from the trailer. I guess it's a hotel.
No. It's a hotel. It's just that everybody that comes in is fucking shot. So
that's true.
They have a doctor on staff, I guess.
Well, so does the Continental.
Well, then it's the Continental.
That's my whole.
Why couldn't we just call this trailer the Continental?
So when I said that this trailer was divisive, it was divisive because of Josh Burns. Josh had a very strong opinion about this movie and its cast as well, but I'd like to hear some of your main objections.
Your opinions about the cast doesn't matter because you're wrong.
My main objection is Jodie Foster.
Why?
Because she's terrible. She's not good.
I guarantee you she's barely in it.
Listen, they made her role in this just quirky enough that it's fine.
She's the innkeep. Okay. She's the innkeep.
But she walks with a limp. She acts a little funny. It's perfect.
I get it. So my problem is conceptually, this is just a mishmash of other stories, right? So you're taking John Wick, the Continental, that hotel story, and she's the innkeep at the Continental, essentially. And then you're sort of also mixing in some Hateful Eight, which I take exception to because it's not Quentin Tarantino doing this movie and fucking Jodie Foster's in it. It's just not good. Like it doesn't look like they have anything going. It's just chaos.
They have they have a decent cast for a movie like this, and you are expecting way too much. When I see a movie like this, I just expect awesome martial arts, things to blow up, people to get shot, and Jeff Goldblum to say some witty one-liners. That's all I want from this movie.
And I'd have been sold.
Dave Bautista's in this movie too, so you get to see some people get slammed through something and someone gets thrown through a wall. Dave Bautista's
in this, and I cannot remember her name. What is it? Sophia something from the girl from
Kingsman. From Kingsman.
Atomic Blonde.
Right.
Star Trek.
Yeah, she was amazing in Star Trek. No, she's going to be good. Bautista's going to be good.
Sophia Boutella. That's her name.
Yeah. They will be good. Jeff Goldblum is always good. And then you throw Jodie Foster in the mix and you lost me. Because she just doesn't belong.
So just to clarify, it's not an actual hotel. The actual description of the movie says it's a secret members only emergency room for criminals.
Oh, there you go. It's a hospital.
So I was right. It's a hospital.
Yeah.
Charlie Day is in this too. I don't know what Charlie Day is doing.
I like Charlie Day too.
Listen, I love Charlie Day in movies.
You need Charlie Day for comic relief.
Yes.
And you got Zachary Quinto in there. So I don't understand what your problem is.
My problem is Jodie fucking Foster.
Well, that's one person.
One person should not bring down
She was the main feature of the trailer.
No.
What am I supposed to... Yes, she was.
I guarantee you she's not in a. I guarantee you
she kicked off the trailer. She closed the trailer. She was pivotal throughout the trailer.
All right.
Jodie Foster's going to have too big a presence in this movie.
Fine. Minus Jodie Foster, in your opinion, this movie still has a good cast with a good premise, and I think it will be fun. You know, it's coming out June 8th. So
what's the runtime on this movie? My over-under's at 88.5.
Okay, so there is a barometer that we have found, right, when it comes to movies, if they're going to be good or not. One of them is that some of the marketing materials focus solely on stuff about like behind the scenes and the people and the drama and not the actual movie, which as of right now, this is the only trailer, so that hasn't, been the case. The other part was a runtime of less than 90 minutes.
Just one facet of potentially crap movies. Right?
And then the other part comes down to like, what the marketing is kind of like. So Brian, do we have the runtime for this movie?
No, the runtime hasn't been released on it.
87 minutes.
So we don't know what it is.
Well, listen, it comes out in June. It's from a couple of smaller studios, so I don't imagine that there's going to be press all over this thing. So I don't know. We shall see. But I'm intrigued. Sign me up. I'll probably see it.
Because you go for free.
I go with my Monopoly money.
You go with the promise of a Coke and a smile.
Hey, the theater gets their money. Okay.
A friendly how do you do and a vigorous handshake in the pants. That's what you're coming in offering.
All right, so let's talk about the final trailer. We got a couple final trailers coming out today. And one of them was for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. We got the final trailer. And I will say this. I have not enjoyed what I've seen so far in this movie. This trailer turned it all around. You should have started with this trailer. I'm so in now. Thank you. This is why I like trailers.
Brian, you want to revisit the point of a teaser, a trailer, and a final?
Oh, that point that I made.
The point that you slammed home that CJ somehow hasn't grasped.
That the final trailer is just supposed to get you excited and get you ramped up.
The second trailer doesn't need to fix it. The final trailer will do that.
The final trailer is supposed to do like, you're not sold yet? Well, shut the hell up and here you go.
Right.
And that's what this did. But the first trailer and second trailer didn't do it for me. This one did it. Fantastic.
No, but we just did this.
I know.
It's not supposed to.
But the cool thing about this trailer is that it looks like the movie doesn't totally take place on an exploding island.
Yes. And I'm also seeing no dinosaurs in planes where they don't belong. Like they belong in cargo planes. And that's where they're going to be.
Oh,
Chris Pratt was awesome.
Chris Pratt is always awesome.
Yeah.
But I also like the fact it's like save Blue. Like Blue's the last of her kind. And what are they going to do to Blue? And it's really going to be following Chris Pratt's character and Blue, which that's a movie I'm down for.
That's what.
And Bryce Dallas Howard,
right?
And whoever that little child is.
I don't care about the little child,
but they're gonna follow her.
Oh, okay.
This doesn't seem like Lost World Part 2 to you.
No, I think they're like, oh, hey, remember?
It's like the exact same concept of Lost World.
Here's what they did.
Yeah, but that's okay. It's actually and Fallen Kingdom is basically you know what I mean. It's the same thing.
It even sounds a little bit like Lost World, Fallen Kingdom.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. But you know what though? It sounds like they really learned from some mistakes from that movie. And we're like, yeah, we'll fix it in post. Okay. We're gonna write a story that actually makes sense. I'm down for this now.
It's overall, right? I mean, compare Jurassic World to Jurassic Park. Which is better for you?
Jurassic Park.
I can't answer that question. Jurassic Park.
What, really a better movie? Which was a better movie?
I thought Jurassic Park was just a better movie.
I thought Jurassic World was far better.
I put them on the same plane. I can't. I don't make a decision.
I'm saying.
And if Jurassic Park wins, it's purely nostalgia.
No, right. And
reasons.
I'm actually not asking. And I know that's a factor. And I know it's hard to divorce the two. But that's kind of what I'm asking. If you just view them as a movie, which one's better? I think Jurassic World wins in most. Every show of hands. Right. So I think Jurassic World wins that. And if just transitive property, I guess. Even if it is like Lost World, it's going to be a far better version.
Okay, all right. I mean, listen, I was always going to see this movie regardless. I'm just saying.
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt
and dinosaurs. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going for the dinosaurs. I'm happy to see Chris Pratt. That's really what it comes down to.
There's one dinosaur you care about.
Right.
All of them?
No, you care about Blue.
No, it's not Blue.
What, you want the one
T-Rex.
that's the hybrid that they're trying to kill?
You want to see
pterodactyls.
The Megalodon?
You want to see what T-Rex does to screw up, a fight bigger than he should be able to screw up. Like the or is that I don't know. It's female. I don't care.
They're all female. That's the whole premise.
The T-Rex, they were mommy and daddy, if you remember.
And also there was a mommy and daddy, and if you also recall, they were like changing their sex so that they could breed because
right. CJ, you're woefully. You are woefully behind on this argument. I'm in just to see what the T-Rex does to help the humans, because apparently T-Rex is a friendly dinosaur. Like according to, and I understand that he's going to snap, but look at the history. T-Rex historically has helped the humans.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay.
Have you seen Barney? Help me read, help me write, help me learn what friendship was.
All right.
Then he ate some velociraptors. It was all a good time.
So, next final trailer that we got was for Deadpool 2. This is showing off some definite new stuff and some great story. We were always on board with this movie.
I'm on board for Pete. That's what this trailer did for me. I'm on board for Pete.
My other thing too was
I hope he doesn't die.
The scene where they're going through like what is your, what's her name and what's her superpower? What was that movie with the Waffle Man and everything else and
Mystery Men?
Mystery Men reminds me of Mystery Men so much that I chuckled very, very heartily during those scenes.
I chuckled at all the jabs at both Marvel and DC from this movie.
Not hold back.
Nah, I'm super excited. Did you hear? Two things came out of this trailer. So they made the DC joke, which was great. And then the official Teen Titans Go Twitter decided to try and shove in Ryan Reynolds' face. Like, hey, remember, you were a part of the DC universe before you were part of the Marvel universe. And then all the fans were like, actually, no, he was in Wolverine Origins before he was in Green Lantern, so suck it.
Actually. Take that.
I thought that was funny. And then the other thing that spun out of this is that Pete now has his own Twitter.
Right on. Josh, any thoughts?
The Deadpool trailer was amazing. Are you kidding? It was ridiculous. It made me laugh, made me cry. Not cry, but it was funny. I did take exception to one thing. There was a moment there where Cable's CGI was dog shit. Watch it again and slowly, and you'll see it. But
I say trailer CGI, so I don't think that's post-production entirely.
Well, no, you would assume not, right? But you never know. So just that, just small concern that. But otherwise, I mean, all the digs, he's going to call him Thanos. That's fantastic.
So get your tickets because May 18th, that's when Deadpool 2 drops. All right, moving on to this, I have to admit this is going on the list of movies I haven't seen, and I apologize to everyone in advance for not seeing it. The Equalizer 2 got a trailer. I've heard such great things about The Equalizer. It
was so good. What are you doing with your life?
It just didn't fall into my movies that I happened to see. So
what, you didn't see Equalizer? You haven't seen High Fidelity?
Let's.
You never saw Boiler Room.
Let's take a moment. My list is far better than Brian's list.
That's not true at all.
No. See, here's the difference, right?
He hasn't seen Deadwood yet, Josh.
No. He has quantity. You're lacking quality.
Thank you.
I don't know if I go that far.
Oh, we just named 3 fucking movies that are super quality that you haven't seen.
Sure, if we dug into Brian's background, we can find some things too. Anyway,
no, I don't.
Talk to me about
think
The Equalizer 2. And were you expecting to get this movie?
Yes.
Oh, I was expecting it. I've known it was coming out for a while.
Franchise written all over it as soon as you saw the first one.
Yeah. This
if he hadn't died in Man on Fire, we'd have a Man on Fire too.
God,
that's what these movies are.
I know. This is Creasy reborn. I do understand.
So
that.
good.
They are so good. And the first one, look, I mean, I swear to God, it's right. It's on par with Man on Fire. Not emotionally.
Right.
I'm not saying that, right? But like, as far as a well-constructed revenge story,
yeah,
it's incredibly well put together. So I'm on board for as many Equalizers as they want to make.
Yeah, man. That line he says in the trailer where he's just like, what did he say?
I'm a highly overpaid government assassin.
Yeah.
No, that one was good too. But he says,
Oh, I
says,
only get to do it once.
Yeah, he said, I'm
My
going to kill
only
every single
regret
one of them.
about
My only
killing
regret
these
is I only get to do it once. And I'm like, yes! I can't wait to see Denzel Washington kill more people. He kills people with a nail gun in the first movie. I can only imagine what he's going to do with this movie.
It's going to be brutal. So
gonna be
brutal.
amazing.
And the other part too is just, again, every single time you see Denzel in the movie, you appreciate the fact that Denzel disappears and he's just the character. Like I never get Denzel. I only just get the character. The man is a wonderful actor. So I am excited to watch this series.
Yeah, with Denzel's sort of flair.
Right.
And his signature stuff.
Yeah, he's got some swagger.
Yeah.
He's got his signature swagger.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a ton of things on Netflix that are just vying for your attention. Most of them are bad. I would like to report back on two things on Netflix that you should just straight up avoid. And Josh, you were totally right on one of them. The Titan. Actually, that was Brian.
No,
that was
me.
Brian.
Why do you always want to give Josh my credit?
My bad.
I thought it was going to be okay. I did.
So, Brian, you got to get credit. The Titan is
damn right.
Terrible.
I told you.
Wow, it was
told you.
bad. It started off with, this is a cool premise, and then it's, oh, you've abandoned, okay, you're just doing Nurse Stop. What are you doing? No! So it's awful. Please do not watch it. It's not worth your time. The other one, which looks so cool, had a good premise as well, but then falls apart in execution, is What Happened to Monday.
I saw that. I watched that. I was not.
Yeah, not impressed. Willem Dafoe, always cool to be Willem Dafoe, but then like the rest of it just slowly falls apart, and to the point where you just don't care about any characters anymore, and you don't care about the world. So I will tell you to stay away from those two movies. The next Netflix series vying for your attention is called The Innocents. Let me read this synopsis, just one little paragraph, because I think it's kind of right on point. Netflix has released the official trailer for The Innocents, a new British supernatural series about a young teenage couple whose love is tested when one of them, a teenage girl named June, begins to manifest a bizarre, shape-shifting ability. At first, this sounds a little out of left field, and admittedly it is. The two kids are relatively unknown. Guy Pearce from Memento, Alien Covenant, and Iron Man, a couple other movies that you know.
Lockdown.
Yes, also, he plays a mysterious scientist who appears to have brought out the human abilities. It's kind of interesting. It has a little bit of a Black Mirror feel to it. It has a little bit of I can't think of the show. It looks pretty interesting. So I'm kind of curious to see what you guys think about this. If this is something that's going to be worth your time, Brian.
I don't trust Guy Pearce.
I think Guy Pearce's whole career has been built upon the fact that you shouldn't trust Guy Pearce.
Yeah, I mean, I get. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the show. I don't know. I'm intrigued, but I'm frightful at the same time.
Hesitant.
A little hesitant.
Josh, you're a pretty big Anglophile like myself, so we tend to see British TV and British shows do pretty well in our eyes. What do you think?
I thought watching the trailer the first time, it absolutely looks interesting. I am sort of leaning towards Brian in I think there's a real chance this gets frightening. And because this seems like a terrifying trait to discover about yourself.
Yeah.
As a teenager. So the reaction seems like it might be a little rough, and getting into that in a series is, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to watch it through that period. That's, I guess, my concern.
Have you guys seen the newest season of Black Mirror?
No.
Have you watched that?
I'm like 6 episodes behind on Black Mirror.
Okay, so that is the whole new season. Okay then, because if you can make it through the new season of Black Mirror, when those episodes come through where it gets really uncomfortable, because this show is going to get really
because the very first episode of Black Mirror wasn't uncomfortable. Do you remember
by the way,
that episode?
Again, I will say to anybody who wants to start Black Mirror, just, I know it sounds weird, do season 1 in reverse. Do 3, 2, 1. It's not a chronological story. Just watch in that order. You'll be okay at that point. But I feel like it kind of prepares you for shows like this that will eventually go to a rather uncomfortable place, but enough that you could actually watch it. You may have to do it a little bit through your eyes and clenching a little bit, but I think you can make it through. I am totally willing though to give this a shot.
I'm not so sure I want to clench for 13 hours.
It's a lot of
I don't think you're
lot of
clenching for the
clenching.
entire series. I think you're going to clench for like 2 episodes of like
No.
like 2 hours.
Knowing
of,
that at any moment this chick could shapeshift into something, that's going to make me clench. Anytime this girl is off screen, I'm going to... Everybody who shows up afterwards is suspect. I'm just saying.
That's fine. I think that's what makes
it does really complicate the story.
I think it's an interesting complication, but I do understand the reservation.
But it does allow for recasting just in case they renew for a second season.
Yeah, you always get that going for you.
So the great thing about Altered Carbon is that
Oh,
you
please
can do this with anybody.
Let's do some recast in Ultra Carbon. So
Are you
this
kidding
is
me?
good.
That show was great.
It was great. I'd love to just see some new people in it. So this show is going to drop on Netflix on August 24th, so a little bit times away. But I'm very curious. I want to turn around the question to you. What do you think about this trailer? Is this a show that you think you want to watch? Is this something that maybe piqued your interest? Am I way off with my Black Mirror comparison? Tell us on Twitter or Facebook at That Kind of Nerd. We definitely want to hear from you. Now, keeping with the Netflix theme, we got some casting news from Stranger Things. I'm pretty happy about this. Josh, tell me through a little bit of this development and who are the two new actors joining the cast?
Actually, I was pretty excited about this because these two guys are funny and a little crazy at times. Carrie Elways and Jake Busey will both be joining Stranger Things. So I'm excited about. Jake Busey's a wild card, but Carrie Elways, he can do that like very quiet, dry British humor. It should be. And I understand he's probably not going to be British. I get that,
Right.
but his delivery still is.
Yeah, I mean, if you do, for some reason, if the name doesn't sound familiar, you'll know him from Princess Bride.
I found Carrie Elways to be very dry and humorous in the Saw movies that he was in.
Yeah,
it was a riot, let me tell you. When he was sawing through his foot, I was like, oh, Carrie Elways. So good.
And we really have no idea what roles they're going to be playing, so we don't know if they're going to be, the good guys or bad guys.
Oh, they're both bad guys.
Oh yeah,
I'm just putting money on it right now. Carrie Elways, bad guy.
Right? Probably. That's. I mean, you wouldn't assume that they're going to introduce.
Sorry, we do have some information. I'm sorry. Carrie Elways is going to be playing the mayor of the town.
Yeah.
So
bad guy.
You're right, 100% a bad guy. I didn't see that he'd be playing the mayor. 100%.
Not like he doesn't know what the hell's going on in that Hawkins lab over there.
Yeah, and then what do we got? Jake Busey is going to be a reporter,
A scientist.
Like. A scientist. No,
right. So you've got a mayor like folksy, but on the back end shrewd, and he's. I mean, I assume we'll hear some pretty ridiculous stuff coming out of that.
Oh, so here's the character synopsis for Bruce, the character that Jake Busey will be playing. Bruce is a journalist at the Hawkins Post with questionable morals and a sick sense of humor.
Then he's just playing Jake Busey.
He's just playing Jake Busey.
I think he's playing his father.
Well, yeah. I
Think about aliens and shit in the time. I mean, you're just gonna get Gary Busey.
Can we get Gary Busey as the Demogorgon, like the new Demogorgon?
Iced potatoes all around us. But this is listen. This is no one can come into Stranger Things and do wrong. I think that they know how to bring the right people in and make it work. So this is a very exciting addition to this cast, and I suspect they won't be around for the season 4. It seems like anytime you bring in some good names, at some point, they die. Which
I feel like you're referencing Bob.
Oh, Bob.
Or Bob.
So when it comes to the world of movies, there's a lot of things out there that we all love, but I think we can all agree that Forgetting Sarah Marshall is a great freaking movie.
It's a classic,
and it's now 10 years old, and it is still
even though it's only 10 years old.
It's only 10 years old, and it is. I agree with this headline. One of the best modern rom-coms that has ever graced our silver screens.
For sure,
this movie is fantastic. I am also a fan of the Get Him to the Greek. I know that was viewed with mixed reception, and I am still waiting. I want to see the puppet show on Broadway. I want Jason Segel to make this Dracula show a full-fledged thing, and I want to go see it because I feel like we got a good taste of it.
You
in the
realize that he never intended to make that a real thing.
I need him to make it a real
This
thing.
was you realize this was his way of getting the Muppet movie.
But then he wrote the Muppet movie.
Shoehorning that was his way of getting the Muppets, and the Muppets was a great movie.
Fantastic movie. Now give me I want a Broadway show of his Dracula.
I think more importantly, when the world slips you a Jeffrey, you stroke the furry wall.
But that's thanks to get him to the Greek. You're right. I still say that.
That's all I'm saying. But no, you're right. With the character's fantastic. He's endearing. Everything's wonderful. It's I didn't
watch.
There is a lot of naked Jason Segel though, so I mean, take that for what it's worth.
Well, who cares? Are those happy tissues or sad tissues? Who cares?
I also feel that the fact that the one bartender could name all the different types of fish.
That's great.
And I feel like that inspired Jason Segel's character in How I Met Your Mother. It was like trout.
No,
salmon.
Right.
It feeds into that.
Very sneakily, Paul Rudd puts in a really solid performance.
Some great quotes.
Super sneaky Paul Rudd.
The weather outside is weather. Gets me every time. This was also one of my very first introductions to Kristen Bell.
What?
Oh shit!
I worked backwards on Kristen Bell's career from this movie.
You've released the Kraken.
I've angered Brian, who, by the way, celebrates all of Kristen Bell, her entire catalog.
Not all of it. She's done some crap, but 90% of it is good.
You still celebrated. You understand that the crap led her to
because she's wonderful and she's a national treasure.
Okay, wait. Freeze for one moment. Okay, Brian.
Joshua.
Your love for Kristen Bell is well documented.
Yes, it is.
Have you watched House of Lies?
I have.
That is my absolute favorite Kristen Bell. I will not, I can't, she was so good there that it actually proves my point that most of her other roles, she's dog shit. She's so good in House of Lies that everyone should watch it. But otherwise, really, just unless she's acting in a Samsung commercial with her husband, I'm really not interested.
All you just saw at first was Brian's lies lighting up. Yeah, Kristen Bell is great in that show, and then the utter extinguishing of a flame.
Have either of you seen Veronica Mars?
No.
Watch Veronica Mars.
Nope.
Watch Veronica Mars.
No.
Yes.
I refuse.
I don't care.
You're going to have to win some kind of a bet for me to watch.
Or find a show.
CJ's been down this road.
You find a show where you can exchange, right? You can, I'll watch finish your Deadwood shit, and then,
It was Sons of Anarchy.
It was Sons of Anarchy for Doctor Who. That's
for Doctor Who, right? Yes. And that's what happened, right? And we both grew.
Right. Now, to be fair, I had to watch. Ready? This is the scale, and this is how I knew that I was managing upwards. Right? I learned that from somebody here.
Yeah, from someone.
Somebody was. I will watch all of Sons of Anarchy if he will watch one season of Doctor Who. And he was like, yeah, I can burn through a season. I'm like, all right, I'll burn through a series. It's fine. And we both made great decisions. And then you ended up, of course, becoming a huge Whovian.
I am a huge Whovian.
Beyond the scope. The other part, too, I mean, I don't want to gloss over Mila Kunis in that movie. She did a really good job, too. I only thought of her from that 70s show, and it was nice to see her kind of break out in this and kind of get rid of that persona a little bit.
Look, from a rom-com standpoint, right, like, Forgetting Sarah Marshall is all time. I really do feel that.
Yeah.
But romance wise, better story, the Mila Kunis, Justin Timberlake movie. Better.
Friends with Benefits
was better. From that, like,
right, from the romance
if you're gonna bring up Mila Kunis, I'm gonna say she was amazing in Friends with Benefits. But, she was really, really good.
But I think if it wasn't for Sarah Marshall, you would never have gotten Friends with Benefits.
No, you're probably right. And timeline wise, okay, but I'm not arguing about
I understand
the merits of Sarah Marshall. It is all time, and it will be down the road.
last bit of screen to screen topics, just very quickly. I just kind of want to say this. A lot of you, if you are friends, wow, for a lot of you, you're fans of Evil Dead. You love,
not friends of Evil Dead.
No,
Friends of Evil Dead.
That's
is
why I
different than
went back, because that would become
no. But I'm very intrigued to meet. I would love to hear from the friends of Evil Dead.
Now I have to keep it in. That's great.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm excited.
I was saddened by this news, by the way.
We all love
I enjoy
the
this show.
phenomenal, underrated Bruce Campbell. His show, Ash vs. Evil Dead, has been canceled on Starz after 3 seasons. It will conclude on April 29th. I don't have Starz. I never watched this series. I do like the Evil Dead films. I love Bruce Campbell, so I mean, whatever the man does, I enjoy it. I am sad to see it go too, only because there was a passionate fan base, but just they couldn't turn out enough in numbers. I blame because the fact it was on the network Starz. But other than that,
if you watch this, it had to be on Starz. If you've seen it, when you watch the show, you understand why it needed to be on some sort of paid channel. And HBO wasn't going to touch this thing because it's Evil Dead. This show was really good. It was really campy, really funny. But oh my gosh, so much blood, so much gore, so much like weird. Like he's in this latest season, he's in a sperm bank. He's about to donate sperm, and the Playboy he's looking at gets possessed and starts trying to choke him out. It's freaking fantastic. So you just see this woman's hand popping out of the page, like chasing after him. It's so good. It was a really enjoyable show, and I'm sad that it's ending, but okay.
So it did have a huge following, and for that I can respect it. I just like, as far as Star shows go, they've done some good stuff. This probably not. I mean, like, compared to Spartacus, the Spartacus series was fantastic,
right?
But they're all gratuitous on Starz.
Yeah.
So it's you can only, I think, go so gratuitous with.
So we'll warn you, Ash vs. Evil Dead and Bruce Campbell, get a job soon. I want to see you in more things. I would love to figure out if they could put him back in Spider-Man again, because he holds a special place in my heart for all the Spider-Man tie-ins that he has. So
I have the perfect role for Bruce Campbell if they would, just get it done. Have you ever played the Uncharted games?
Yes.
No.
They've been talking about making an Uncharted movie forever, and I just replayed them all again. And every time I play this, I'm like, damn it, Bruce Campbell
Drake
needs
would be amazing.
No, he needs to play Sully.
Who is Sully?
Sully's like his older, kind of thief friend who showed him the ropes. He's always got a cigar in his hand.
Oh,
every time
Bruce Campbell.
Every
right
time
there.
I hear this guy's voice, it's Bruce Campbell. You know what? I'm going to find a little snippet from.
By the way, I
game for
wasn't
CJ.
suggesting he played Drake. I was suggesting the franchise would be amazing.
Oh yeah, they've been talking about making this movie forever, but
no, I know. I've been reading about it. Like, Reddit goes a buzz every time an Uncharted movie gets. There's a whiff.
Rumor,
Somebody farted an Uncharted movie whiff.
So I like to go around the internet, find the weird, find the obscure, and then I ask for a tech perspective.
You do.
So obviously, one day we'll get more than 20 seconds in. Yep, okay. Hey, I don't know if you heard this. The whisper. Like the whisper. Got me at the end. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Mark Zuckerberg had to go and answer some questions about Facebook over the last couple of weeks.
Glorious.
The memes and everything were a flitter and just were of excellent quality. However, I was shocked on just how sometimes we had to go back to really big basic stuff just for how the internet works. And it sparked in me the fact that a lot of people just think they know what the internet means. But when you talk to people who are outside of the nerdy bubble, you realize that no one knows anything, and you've really got to go back to the basics. So there are a couple things in there that I had a remark on, and again, topics in general. But one of them was a senator asked, how do you sustain a business model in which users don't have to pay for your service? And Zuckerberg's like rebooting his brain going, Senator, we serve ads? To which
we run ads. Like he served it up in a way that was like,
gotcha.
How do you not understand what this? There's just ads.
So, basic part of the internet. If something is free, there's no such thing as free, right? You're paying for it in one way or another. And that could be ads on a website. That could be you sign up for a mailing list, or it could be actually, giving $1 or $2 to support something like a small podcast on patreon.com/thatkindofnerd. There's always ways. There's always an easy way to give somebody a service for free without necessarily having to pay for it. So if you are looking for services and you notice that there is a free version and a premium version, just realize that free version means you're paying with, your data. It means you're paying with ads. It means you're paying with inconveniences. And in most options, a paid version has less of that.
CJ is super fired up about this.
Just know that that's a thing. How do you not know that? How do you get to be on the internet for more than 5 minutes ago? Ads everywhere.
No,
everywhere.
CJ, I think you're missing it. It's not that people don't know that. It's people are like, nah, well, I accept it. You're going to send me junk mail. I get it. It's fine. Like, people just accept it. It's not that was, what's funny is that watching the funny clips from these hearings.
Yeah, my favorite was
super clear that there is absolutely zero understanding of technology. Hold on. When I'm emailing on WhatsApp.
Oh God. It's like having your grandparents or your aunt,
but this guy wasn't that old.
I know.
But he's asking a serious question. When I'm emailing on WhatsApp and there's Zuckerberg with this fucking look on his face like, are you fucking kidding me?
So this again comes to the point of just let's just explain how the internet works real quick, guys. Email is email. It's its own thing. And
he says, and Zuckerberg says, no, we don't see any of the content on WhatsApp. It's fully encrypted. And the fucking guy was like, right, but when I'm emailing, can't you grab that?
Yeah, but
out of there.
My favorite part is, so I'm emailing on WhatsApp about Black Panther. Will I see a Black Panther ad later? And he's like, no, again, it's encrypted end to end, so we don't see the content. Yeah, but when a person sees it, he's just like, no, it's encrypted end to end. So let's break that down real quick. Encrypted end to end. This is pretty easy, right? When you send a message on your phone, right, that's end one, to the person receiving it, end two, no one else has access to it along the route, right? And that means that in this case too, with Facebook, with Apple, with iMessage, if you send a message, they can't look at it, they can't open it, they don't have the key. So if someone comes knocking on the door later and says, hey, I want to see the message that Josh sent to CJ. I think it may have had to do with Black Panther. They'd be like, I can't open this. I don't have the keys. Imagine a janitor with a ton of keys going, it's not even on the ring, man. It's not even here.
And with iMessage, you're right. With upcoming chat on Android phones, you're not. And at some point we'll get to that. But for this thing, I just need everyone to, when you're, maybe now, whenever it's convenient, go to the show notes and click on this video. You have to watch Zuckerberg's expressions of how the fuck don't you understand this guy?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
My other one too, there was one more. There was one person says, if someone calls you up and says, I want to see John Kennedy's file, could you do that? He's like, we could, but we would never do that. He's like, yeah, but you could, right? He's like, yeah, it would be a massive evasion of privacy and such a breach of our terms and conditions.
Is what he said.
Why, we wouldn't do that. Yeah, but you could. He goes, yes, and I'd be back here again. No, you can't just call up a company and be like, I'd like to see all of Brian's text messages, and I would love to see his browser history. No. Even I, right, a person who got all up in arms about net neutrality, which we won't open up, but I was like, hey, people can see where you're going. Your ISP could see that. They don't even know who you are. So no, you don't literally have a permanent record. You know when you were a little kid at school and they're like, this is going to be on your permanent record, so pay attention. The internet doesn't work like that. It's not like they're rifling through going, on April 3rd, you sent a tweet that said, waffles. What's up with that? What is up with that? I don't understand. It's not like that. You can't call up and just get a file. Companies won't give up your data just because someone's, had a convincing phone call. People, the internet is not a series of tubes. More going on. That's another meme.
CJ is very serious about this.
He's very salty about this entire thing.
Jeez, I'm like, if you're not picking up on, like, while he's trying to remain reserved, he's ranting uncontrollably, which is, well, for me, entertaining.
I would just like to say, listen, I understand that there are some people.
No.
just
I
don't
think
get
you
it.
actually blacked out there. Have you ever seen Will Ferrell debate
Yes,
the
with
Raging
old school.
Cajun?
Yes,
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what just happened.
Yep.
I'm not even sure you're aware of what just happened, but all will be revealed.
Did we win? So I want to jump onto this next topic. Now, listen, Brian, I'm going to rely on you here to be the voice of the people, because Josh and I are very excited about this topic, and it is super nerdy, okay? And I need you to step in every once in a while and be like, hey, you're talking gibberish. You got to help me out and tell me why a normal person would care, all right?
Okay, you're talking gibberish.
Hey,
Tell me why I should care.
so one of the best things about...
And your first mistake is assuming that I'm normal, but okay.
Listen, out of the three of us for this topic, you are Joe Schmo Public in this point.
You actually are average Joe.
So, one of the big advantages and something that people like with having iPhones is iMessage, right? What it is just a next level of text messaging, right? So you can send a text message with longer than 140 characters. You can send animated GIFs and videos. And like if you send someone a link, you get a little preview of it. It's a rich way to view a text message.
Not just a preview. You don't actually have to leave iMessage to view the video in full.
Right.
You can just click it and watch it in, sort of thumbnail view, if you will. But, obviously.
When it comes to the Android ecosystem, text messaging hasn't changed its technology at all since like the 90s.
No, you still get people with the green bubbles and the
Yes.
one of two. What?
Yep.
Just say what you have to say and not one of two, because I can't.
The reason that Twitter had a character limit of 140 characters was initially Twitter was supposed to be set up that you would send it a text.
SMS.
And it would do that.
SMS.
So this is from Dieter Bohn, who is a very good journalist from The Verge. He's also a huge Android fan, and he started off an article explaining some new technology with this. A top-tier Android phone can cost upwards of $1,000, and for that money, you'll get some amazing features. It'll have a stellar screen, a top-flight camera, gobs of storage, and an absolutely atrocious texting experience.
Yep.
So, for those of you who don't know, there are about 27,000 Google-themed or Google-made messaging applications. It's out of control. So, what Google is realizing is that some people will not leave their iPhone just because of iMessage. Like, just that alone is a reason to stay with an iPhone. So what Google has done is they have now made an open standard, completely not developed by them. This is not an app that you download. They're just spearheading this new system called Chat.
Can I still hit the 9 key 4 times to get an S?
So SMS, the current messaging, has a lot of limitations. Hence why you see part 1 of 2, why we have these character restrictions, why links don't look as pretty. So here's what they're going to do. They're going to develop a system called RCS, and throw that word out already. Just forget it, because they're nicknaming it Chat. Not Google Chat, not Android Chat. Again, this is not an app. This is a new technology called Chat. And what they're going to do is they're going to go to the carriers. This is a carrier-based system. So AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile in the US, right? And say, hey, listen, for all the Android phones out there who are using this stock Android text messaging application, we're now going to put this new technology in, and it's basically like having iMessage. You're going to be able to do read receipts. You're going to be able to do group chats. You're going to be able to do high quality links. You're going to be able to do GIFs in a nice order fashion. And it's going to have a nice ecosystem like this. It's going to be very similar to iMessage, but it's based on the carrier flipping the switch.
Except it will not be encrypted.
Yes, it is not an end-to-end encrypted. Remember when I said end 1 and end 2? It's not that.
I'm not on board with any messaging system that isn't encrypted.
So
I don't.
Here's
Like, well, hold on. No.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to allow you to gloss over this. Google, for fuck's sake, Google has worked out a deal with all of the big money cellular carriers that control all the wireless content in the world. And they've said, we're going to embed this technology in your software, your carrier software.
Right.
So it's just part of the phone. And what it's going to do is allow all the Android phones to be like iPhones. Isn't that great? And they're like, yeah, that's amazing, because that's what our Android users want, to be more like iPhones. And then Google says, you know what's even better is that we can see everything they say. If you buy an Android phone that has this technology, you're saying I don't care about my privacy.
Right, but if you buy an Android phone now, you're still saying the same thing.
But I'm just saying globally now, from now on, and no matter what Android phone you buy, get stock Android, rooted Android, if you're using this technology, you're exposed. Listen, everyone, we've got plenty of room at the table, in the boat, on the wagon, whatever you want to call it. Apple users don't dislike you. We
just don't like green bubbles.
No, we just pity you, really. But come on over. We've got plenty of space.
Josh, just so you know, we talked about this is available on carriers, right? The carriers have to flip the switch. One carrier has already flipped the switch, so we got to wait for some hardware to work for it. It is a massive carrier. Really important. Everyone, Sprint. It's Sprint. Sprint flipped the switch on this already, kids.
Well, because Sprint wants the revenues generated by everything you say.
Sprint. Thanks, Sprint. No one cares, Sprint. Nobody cares, Sprint.
That's not true. Sprint's a giant provider.
I'm sure they are.
You are right.
So what I'm hearing is Android. I'm going to try and put this in an analogy that makes sense to me. Android is in a math class. He's not very good at math. So, but he's not like the jock, right? He's just a little slower with math. He's good at science. He's good at like the English stuff, English lit. He's great at
social studies.
He's me. All right,
also with social studies, can't handle math. So Android goes to the school bully, the carrier,
right,
and pays the school bully to beat up the nerd for the answers to all the math tests for the rest of the school year.
Yes.
So Android has already given the school bully his money, but there's no guarantee that the school bully will deliver on said math test answers. On top of that,
yes,
the school bully can also copy the answers and give them out to everybody in the class so everybody gets in trouble.
Yes.
Is that what I'm hearing?
This is great. Oh my gosh.
Does that make sense? Did I understand this correctly?
That right there is the tech perspective. That was great. Yes.
All right.
Now listen.
Good. I'm with you.
Again, all your hate can be directed at hate@thatkindofnerd.com. I am actually very curious to see from a lot of you. I know there's a few of you who are hardcore nerds like me about this kind of technology, and Josh. So I would definitely like to have a conversation with some of you extra nerdy people on Facebook or Twitter. So please reach out to us that way. Chad does not have like an official release date. There's so many other pieces I have to go through. Again, it's not owned by Google, so other companies can use this in other applications. Like, it's a big thing. So this may be taking over some technology over the next couple
the
years.
real takeaway here is really just buy Apple products.
Or if you're really that worried and you will never use an iPhone, if I can't convince you to use an iPhone, use Signal. All right, use Signal. It's a great messaging app. End-to-end encrypted, use Signal. Go for that. All right, Mr. Brian Thornton.
Mr. CJ Evelyn Mellon.
I directed a topic.
It was Christopher Jacqueline.
It is Jacqueline.
I appreciate that. I directed a topic at Josh, and now I'm directing a topic at you. You and I both watched Donkey Kong: A Fistful of Quarters, the wonderful documentary around Steve Wiebe,
The King of Kong.
King of Kong. That's right.
Yeah, and how Steve Wiebe was robbed.
He was robbed of a high score. So, for those of you who don't know, it was following a school teacher who had figured out a system and actually who had figured out a system to achieve the first 1 million point score in Donkey Kong Jr., if I remember correctly, right?
Yes, it was Junior.
And the documentary is following that, and there's this other guy. His name is Billy Mitchell.
who had at the time had the highest score on that game and several other games. Yes.
He was like the first person ever to get to what we call the kill screen of Pac-Man.
And he was rocking an amazing mullet.
An amazing mullet and a hot sauce. And then here's the terrible thing. Steve Wiebe went out and performed live, right, in front of a group of people, the first ever 1,000,000-point score in Donkey Kong Jr. When he's about to be awarded this world record, a tape comes in, and he says, hey, it's from this guy, Billy Mitchell. He says he did this before Steve. Go to the tape. And they roll that beautiful bean footage, and they say, hey, yeah, it looks like Billy Mitchell did it first. And in the documentary,
that video was bullshit.
They show a couple things going, this doesn't look right. And it's been a few years since this documentary, and other people have already come up and gone.
A few years? I was working at Blockbuster when this movie came out. It's been over a decade.
A couple other people came out and now already have $1 million scores. I mean, 1,000,000-point scores, so it's already broken. But an investigation was done on this guy, Billy Mitchell, who, again, was the evil guy with a mullet. And they have stripped him of all of the records that he held on video gaming, with the exception, I think, of the Pac-Man one that he had, because they found out that that video was doctored. He used a cheating system, and they took away all his records.
Right.
I am so surprised and happy. If you watch this documentary, first of all, this documentary is very, very good. Even if you're not a fan of the source material, this guy was a dick.
Huge dick.
Huge penis.
And Steve Wiebe, the nicest guy, as a matter of fact, made a cameo in the movie Four Christmases playing Donkey Kong. Steve Wiebe was such a nice guy. It was a David Goliath story, and unfortunately Goliath just won, and nobody liked it.
Goliath won because they didn't want to bother to check the tape even further. Like these people who were handling the records at the time didn't care. He held so much crap on all of them and like threatened them with like monetary like pulling, because I mean he was a big deal at the time.
Right.
That they were like, all right, yeah, no, it's yours. He's such a dick.
So what they realized was that not only was his Donkey Kong record set on a basically a cheating machine, but it called in a couple other of his records that he had held. So they just removed it all. So listen, it's some sweet, sweet justice, some sweet, sweet karma that is long overdue. I'm very glad to see Billy Mitchell get all this stripped. And again, highly recommend watching King of Kong, A Fistful of Quarters. Great documentary, even if you don't care about Donkey Kong and high scores. It's just a great story.
The other thing about that record is that they made Steve play it in front of him. They wouldn't recognize the record unless he did it live.
Right.
But this douche nozzle can go ahead and just send in a tape.
Yep. So, highly recommend it. Check it out. And for those of you who have followed it, Sweet Sweet Justice, I wanted to share that story with you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time where that kind of nerd gives a topic, a product, a movie, whatever, the third degree, in a segment that we call The Nerd Degree. Oh, Indiegogo, the place where you go to watch fraudulent and very bad ideas come to life. You have graced us with the wonderful product Halo Effect, the first hands-free 4-mount smartphone kit. That's right, it's got mounts like the Run and Ride, the Drive and Mount, the Perform and Play, and the Share and Stream mount. Josh, I know you watched this funding video. Can you just give me a little snippet as to what this product is all about?
Well, yeah. I mean, essentially, you clip one piece to your phone, which is supposed to fit securely, and then it has several applications, other mounts, right, where you just twist it in or whatever. The clip that you put on your phone serves as a kickstand as well. It's the most advanced mount solution I've ever seen. I was very skeptical at first because I don't like clipping things on my phone. My iPhone 10 is naked, no case, nothing ever. It's just naked, as all my iPhones always are. This is actually a good idea. Like I'm looking at it. The clip itself that goes on your phone doubles to hold credit cards and whatnot. If you're the kind of person that likes to clip things onto your car and have a mount and whatnot situation there, this is a really good thing. I can't find a fault with it if you don't mind having that additional bulk on your device. If you have a case now, this is actually a good replacement for that. I do believe that it's actually sort of long enough to give you that same, when you set it down, you're not going to get like micro scratches and whatnot from the surface of the table you put it on. So it gives you that, and it can hold credit cards, which is a function that most of your cases probably don't have right now. This isn't a bad thing. And if you're a utility type person that, multifunctional, using your iPhone here and there, mounting it there, doing this or taking pictures with it or running with it, this is actually a really good system, and the pricing is fair.
The thing that I do like about it is because there are other systems like this, right? We've seen people make like essentially a modular case where you have like a case on it, then you snap off a piece, put another piece on it for another function. But all of those, you have to buy the other attachments separately. This right now, the Indiegogo campaign is all 4 of these applications in one package. You get all of the functionality in one set, which is very nice. Here's the thing, Josh. I do agree that if you don't have a case, or if you do and you're looking for something a little more lower profile in the sense of not gaudy-ish, this would do that. However, I don't believe this adds any kind of protection at all. This makes your phone a little more vulnerable.
Oh, for sure.
So if you are a person who is like, oh man, I dropped my phone a lot, and that's what your case is for, and you would like to do all this stuff, not the replacement. If you're a person who takes care of your devices, sure, this would be pretty cool. I do like the multi like wall or glass mount that they have. So it's a little cube. It's got like 3M strips on it. You put it onto some like a wall or a bookcase, something that if you stand in front of it and like stream or take selfies, it's a great thing to do that. You just put it on there, pull it out.
Perfect for those bathroom selfies.
You know it. The rest of it, I'm very suspect on the quality of it itself.
Oh, you're suspect, but the quality you're okay, Brian.
No, I said I'm suspect of the quality.
I have issues.
Okay.
First issue is he was very, very quick to mention my Subway card for some reason. He's looking for that Subway money. I don't know why.
No, like the Metro, not the sandwich shop.
Metro, not we're not looking for the membership.
We're not buying
your double stamp.
I get it.
Do you know?
Off,
I don't think you do.
First off, you're assuming I'm talking about the sandwich shops. Like Subways have money too. Like, they're funded by the city. Just saying. Anyway,
okay. No one believes you on that one, but okay.
With the exception of the wall mount, I don't see.
The car mount was pretty solid.
I got a car mount. I got a magnetic car mount.
Here's the other thing too. It has the run and ride, which is like, hey, it could be on your arm if you're on a bike, or it could be on your shoulder, like if you're running. But their sell on that is if you get a phone call when you're running, take it off and then hold it up to your face. When any self-respecting runner has a wire, a wireless way to answer the phone.
I've got Bluetooth. I've got wireless something.
I don't really think we need to like criticize the approach.
Oh, I believe we do. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I don't know. I think it's pretty if you are a person that uses multiple mounts, this is a great all-in-one solution.
I'd have to know the price tag. That's really what it comes down to. It's a different.
So I'm glad you bring that up.
It's interesting.
Right now, on early bird special, right, for Indiegogo, it is $39. However, full retail will be $69.
That's not bad considering a car mount runs you $40?
Yeah,
a good one.
A good one will absolutely be $39.
The custom fitted ones are like $90. So yeah, that's not bad.
Okay, well then I rescind all of my.
Right. Well, the thing for me is a wallet case on its own is $29 to $35. Beyond that, all these mounts and whatnots, right? A car mount we just talked about, a decent magnetic system is $39. And
armbands at least $30 or $40.
An armband is another $40, right? You're getting all these things for the essentially 75% off if you're just using those 4 things. I don't see any problem with this if you're a person that likes the bolt-on.
Now, the stage right now is prototype stage. So this is not 100% ready to go. They're still in the testing. They're still building things out. The campaign is fully funded at 101%. As of the time of this recording, they have raised $29,000. So pretty respectable. This is Indiegogo. So they're saying, hey, listen, this is not a pre-order. You're definitely getting the opportunity to buy it early, but we still have to like finish making it and get to manufacturing. So this is a little bit of a longer time for delivery. And just know that there are some cases, and this is my thing on Indiegogo versus other platforms. Sometimes things just fade away. So just know that, you know, there could be a chance if you invest in this, you may not get your $40 back. But that's still, I mean, even losing $40 on this is not that bad.
No, and looking at it, you know, from our standard measure, I would say, you know, in a sense of how comfortable I am, this is chicken noodle soup after The Price is Right.
On the sense of how comfortable I am, this is a grilled cheese and Campbell's tomato soup after a snowball fight.
You're very comfortable.
I'm very comfortable.
All right.
Brian?
Well, now that I know the price, in terms of how comfortable I am, this is me in an oversized recliner watching Avengers, eating my popcorn, my butter with some popcorn in it.
That was not
very
super late,
comfortable.
though. But yes, very, very comfortable.
All right.
So I think we say that this passes. I think this is the first time we've unanimously passed something on like a Kickstarter Indiegogo situation.
You might be right. This might be the first time for one of these.
I'm not saying official endorsement, but give it a strong. You should take a look and do your own assessment. And every investment involves risk, right? Is that
very comfortable.
Is that the word?
Yes.
All right.
Yep, comfortable.
So for follow-up to Nerd Degree, we're going to build Nintendo Labo together, guys.
So can you tell me, we had talked about the Nintendo Labo weeks ago. It's been a long time. Brian has a box in front of him. Can you please explain to me what I am looking at, and for the listener who can't see it?
You're looking at the box for my Nintendo Labo Variety Kit.
That does not help. The Nintendo Labo
is that thing?
is a cardboard peripheral for the Nintendo Switch, like a fishing rod and a piano, and
yeah, you can make things like
we talked about that a long time.
I got this bag filled with like rubber bands and dowels and things.
Brian, how many little kits did you get inside your box?
I'm opening it right now.
Oh, I didn't know how many were there. I thought you knew when you bought it. It came with like 5 things.
The variety kit. Oh, the variety pack comes. I mean, I see a lot of pictures. 1, 2. I see at least 6 pictures on the box here, so I'm assuming I can make at least 6 things.
You did zero research. You just spent money on it.
I told you when we talked about this that I would legitimately just spend money.
He was all
in.
in. He was all
How
in.
much did this kit cost you? What's the retail price?
$69.99 for the variety kit. It's $99.99 if you want to do the robot. But
so how much did you pay?
I bought the variety kit for $69.99.
$69.99. Okay.
It legitimately comes with the game that I need to put into my Nintendo Switch, and all of these perforated cardboard pieces.
And they're like rip apart, and you go ahead and
rip apart and put it together. From what I could tell, the thing is like the instructions to build the things are on the game.
You have to walk through it.
They'll show like a video.
Lego Dimensions was that way.
Yeah.
I've got how many?
The other part that I heard too that you could get really into the weeds is you can actually reprogram something. You can actually make your own like applications to do things. So I've
got at least 30 pieces of cardboard here. There's so much to do. I'm very excited.
Someone rigged up the robot to be the piano. So instead of playing the piano, you moved your feet and stomped, and you could play a song that way.
That's interesting.
So it looks pretty cool. Actually, seeing it like in the real. The packaging looks pretty nice too. So would you recommend this to fellow people who have the Switch?
I mean, I right now as it stands in the box, sure, but I gotta tell you, I gotta build something first. Which, I mean, unless you guys want to hang out for an hour or two while I do that,
nope,
no, thank you.
Not gonna happen.
So you what we'll do, Brian? We will follow up with you next week to get some first impressions of this. But right
you're
now,
expecting me to build something by next week?
That's what I'm putting it on you.
Next thing you're expecting me to fill the pothole in front of my house.
Anything anyone else has to add?
Yes. I want to
Rock.
I want to say one thing before we wrap. Today is my girlfriend's birthday, who is actually a fan of the show because unlike some other significant others, she would listen to the show.
Happy birthday.
So I do want to wish Cassandra a very happy birthday.
We can sing this song and not get sued.
We're not going to.
No, certainly not.
We're not going to. No one needs to be subjected to my singing.
Oh, no. You're actually the bright spot here.
But yes, Cassandra, happy birthday. Thank you so much for dealing with me and my nerdiness.
All right.
Love you.
Aw, it was so nice. All right, listener, as I say every day, this is not a one-way conversation. We definitely want to hear from you. I'd love to hear any feedback on the topics that we talked about today, especially if you were an Ash vs. Evil Dead fan. Very curious what you feel about the show being canceled. And we need to solve it once and for all with the fans of Hotel Artemis. It is going to be fine, even with Jodie Foster, Josh. So sound off on @ThatKindOfNerd on Twitter, That Kind of Nerd on Facebook, and @ThatKindOfNerd podcast on Instagram. Follow us on all of there. You can also text or call us at 484-373-4119. And please, since we're getting close to, since we just passed, our 3-year anniversary, please give us a 5-star review on iTunes. It means the world to us and lets more people discover the show. So thank you so much for making us your walk around the neighborhood or your drive to work. And we will see you all next week.
If you love comics and sci-fi and technology, television, video games, and fantasy, well, take a listen to our show, I'm sure you'll see there's many points where we can agree. Like that Martha as a plot point was just too absurd, and Apple versus Android is a case to be heard, and that Josh Trank's new Fantastic Four was a turd. Well, welcome to the club, 'cause you are that kind of nerd.
You know, when I told you I wanted this podcast to be like that, I didn't mean exactly like that.
We're just gonna go one for one.
Because that's called illegalness, plagiarism, something like that.
Illegalness.
Illegalness, yeah.
It's called illegalness, plagiarism.
Illegality.
Slenderer?
Slenderer.
More slender. Ah.
You're way off with your Black Mirror comparison. You compare anything with technology and darkness to Black Mirror.
The Matrix, has a little bit of a Black Mirror feel when you realize that you're right. Yeah, really, you could just just say anything that reminds you of Black Mirror.
Well, you can't be told what the Matrix.
I know that the Matrix would tell me that this steak is juicy and delicious.
And everything tastes like chicken.
Ignorance is bliss.
Please hold while we get the clip. Quit holding for pizza. You're wasting your life.
It's just Brian getting back at you for
Not listening to
editing
your wife.
last week's episode.
Keep on holding and waiting forever and ever. The AMC that I frequent, right, which I notoriously have said, I sneak food in there all the time. Oh, sir, the crackdown has begun. Someone at that movie theater has been listening to this podcast. I now have a sign greeting me when I go to the ticket lady and hand her my ticket saying, no outside food or beverages. You must leave it in the car. And it basically just really reads, that means you, CJ. We caught on. So I am no longer able to sneak my Red Robin into the AMC.
Did they also catch on to the fact that you reuse your soda cup?
I told you I don't do that anymore. I buy a soda.
I don't believe you.
No one believes you.
I buy a soda. So I'm just saying, AMC, all right, you won. You won that one. I already get in there with fake Monopoly money.
Next thing that's coming is the Jungle Gyms.
Don't you dare.
There'll be a sign on the door that says, we now have Jungle Gyms. Fuck you, CJ.